Good evening, y'all. It's your baby boomer Kitty Lane from the Peninsula in Virginia, and welcome to another Create and Relate. It is Sunday, August 25th. I am late. My apologies for being late. But I am managing to get this in on Sunday. As you can see, I got green. I have green on my hook, y'all. I'm telling you, when this yarn came in yesterday, it was screaming, make me, make me. And I gave in. Still another baby blanket. Yes, it is. But I am much further along on this one than the other two, actually. But this is a car seat blanket as well, so it's not going to be that big. So first of all, to my subscribers, thank you. To the new and the stand by me's, I thank you very much. I do ask that you all hit that like button. I'm trying to become monetized, y'all. Like I said, I want to feel like a productive member of society. And this little disability thing, by the time we pay rent, that's it for me. But I do know that I am using the Wi-Fi and I am using electricity. And I bathe frequently, so I'm using water and soap, and yeah, it's a lot. I want to feel that sense of independence again. So please help me to become monetized. All it costs you is just a couple of clicks. Look at the videos, click like. If you know somebody, get them to jump on and subscribe. Share, comment. I think I have one comment that I'm waiting to acknowledge because I'm trying to figure out what to say. I want to say something really, really nice to that person because I appreciate the comment that they left. Okay, so this is Setup Sunday, and I am setting things up for the week. In just a moment, I will show you what I am doing with this particular car seat cover. So I started my moss stitch here, and I was going to make 4 squares and put them together horizontal, vertical, vertical, horizontal, and then put a border around them. I was going to use these 2 colors for the borders, and I worked up one of these little balls so fast. So I was like, okay, so if I do 1.5 balls per square, but it took a little more than the 1.5 balls that I wanted it to take. So I just went ahead on and made this panel my base piece, and I'm working off of that piece. So I decided to extend the sides, still using the moss stitch, and then I'm putting a topper and a footer on them. I think I did 20 rows on each side. I know this is 75 rows, the main piece. Then I did 20 rows on each side. I'm going to do 10 at the top and 10 at the bottom. And then I'm going to go back and border it in the main color. And it's just going to be a simple border. Just something very simple. Probably a moss stitch border. Maybe 3 or 4 rounds. And then I'm going to go back to either what I call the bubble gum. Y'all, you got to admit, this I know it says rainbow, but it looks like bubblegum. It looks like bubblegum. Yeah. Looks like bubblegum ice cream. Used to be one of my favorites when I was a kid. And once I finish that, then I'll go ahead and finish the pink one, because I really don't have that much left to do on the pink one. But when I picked this up, I just could not put it down. Y'all, I started this last night after midnight. Okay? And my day got started about 7-ish this morning. And I had to go to the store. My daughter came and visited for a long while. So I was talking to her. We were looking at movies and shooting the breeze. So this was a breeze to work up. Yeah, it's I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And looking at it, it is just the right size for the car seat cover. For a newborn, it'll cover them completely up. Even one of my newborns. Mine ranged from 7 pounds 15 ounces to 9 pounds 8 ounces. Okay, so it would definitely cover them. The only thing I didn't do is pick a topic, because I was having a hard time doing that. I do want to remind you of the donation drive for which I'm making these blankets. And I wrote down those numbers. We, as of current, need 438 washcloths, 281 scrunchies, 185 hats, 100 scarves, 99 ear warmers, and after these 3 blankets get done, we'll still need 47 blankets. I do know that I told myself I wanted to do 10 blankets, so I'm going to work on those. I worked with the bubblegum one last night I think I told you I found a way to decrease some of the holes. Well, I found an even better way to decrease more holes. Y'all, I was so excited. I'm like, it works. I'll be excited to show you that. I did have a couple more ideas that I'm working on. One of them, like I said, it's going to be all purple, but it's going to be 5 different designs. I can tell you what it is. I want to make beach towels. I think I said it before. I'm not sure. I've not had a chance to go back and look at the videos, and I try to do that at least a couple of times a week. But I do want to make the beach blankets, and I want to make 5 designs and see, just how they work up and how they do. Now I went. The other thing I want to make that I was reminded of, it's one of my least favorite things to make, which is a scarf. But this one is so much fun. I have only made one. And as soon as my daughter saw it, she took it. Because she's a school teacher. Y'all. And I haven't had a lot of sugar today. I had my cup of coffee this morning. And we had cereal for breakfast. And we had bologna sandwiches and chips for lunch. And I wanted a little snack, so I had me a little Havarti cheese. And in a little bit, I'll eat the little Gouda one. They're like a little more than bite size each, so It's not a lot. Not a lot at all. I do prefer the Gouda over the Havarti, simply because it seems to have more flavor, more of a cheddar type flavor, which is a little bite that it has. Okay, so as for the 100th video giveaway, we have 7 more days. Please go check that video out, see what you have to do to get your name in the bag. Once your name is in the bag, then we'll shake it up on the 31st. Yeah, and the evening of the 31st, I'm going to shoot for 6 p.m. on the 31st. And we're going to get one of my grandchildren to shake it up. And the other grandbaby, it's going to... That is truly the camera. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. The other grandbaby's going to reach in and grab a name. And from there, we're going to... announce the winner and get this fabulous box sent out to them. If you check out my short, you'll see some of the things that are in the box. There are a couple of more items that I have that are going in the box. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. I also wanted to remind you to please, for all of you, for us content providers and for each one of you as well, check your subscription list frequently. The first night I went back and checked it, it said that I was not subscribed to someone that I, knew I was subscribed to. And it made me go back and look at that whole list. And out of that list of, I think it was like 103, 74 of them, I had to resubscribe. I don't know if that's a YouTube thing or what. I don't know. So, my personal goal for this week is to finish these 3 baby blankets and do one more. I want to do 1 scarf. I want to do 10 ear warmers, 5 hats, 25 scrunchies, and 10 washcloths. So that is my goal for this week. Personal goals. I want to roll me 25 cakes of yarn. Being that I got my yarn winder. Y'all, I am so happy with this thing. I sat here last night, and when I finished with the green here on the side, rolled it in a cake. You gotta forgive the bottom of it. We kind of dropped it. But it's still pretty put together. I'll probably re-roll it. But I want to do 25 of those with a lot of this extra yarn that I have laying around. I also want to pack. I have my box ready. I want to pack those donation items that I have already. I want to get those packed and ready to hand over to Nisha. And then some other stuff that I need to do in my room. When it came to topics, my mind literally having trouble separating pages. Drew a blank. And then, of course, throughout the course of the day, I sat around here and I thought of a few things. And I think what caused that is when I was talking about customer service and I was talking about from the manager's perspective, and when I was saying, make a decision. Excuse me. Make a decision and follow through. The tangent that I went on was, if it involved the police, call the police. But I went further. I went off the customer service part into the conflicts that we have with the police. And all I can really say about that without getting too deep in is, guys, everybody matters. Okay, everybody matters. There is good in every group or organization out here, just like there's bad in every group and organization out here. I look at the number of functions my mother belonged to, and there was not a single one that she didn't come home and throw a complete tantrum over about, somebody. I remember with the garden club, it was, I'll just say her initials, Miss S.K. She tried to teach me piano as an adult, and when she cracked me across the knuckles with that ruler, I'm very much an adult, like in my 30s. I made the decision then, I don't need to be here. I don't need to be here. I don't. Because, excuse me, she almost caught some words and some hands, and I didn't need to be there. I was already dubious about going because I knew that she was, I'm going to say it, she gave my mama hell in that garden club. She did. My mother was president of the garden club, and everything my mother decided, and my mother was a very diplomatic person, but everything that she decided or everything that she brought before the group, this one woman shot down everything she wanted to do. Everything that she wanted to do. And whenever they would have their big meetings and things, that was one of the ones I loved going to. They had nice meals. And that's what I do today. I'll tell you about some of the trips that my mom and I took with the garden club. But I'll get back to the one that I'm talking about with Miss S.K. But when I was much younger, I think I was probably 5 years old, there was one hotel that we went to. It was out of state, and it was in North Carolina, actually. And we were setting up in the banquet room, which was right off from the kitchen. The cooks, I did not know them as chefs back then. They took me into the kitchen. They set me up a table. Hold on for me, please. Sorry about that, guys. It's hairdo day for going back to school. My grandson had to show me his. He does the braids and the twist thingies. He's not ready for a haircut yet. He's not ready. But they took me into the kitchen, set me up a little table and a little chair, and my mother used to always let me carry two of my favorite dolls, a coloring book, and I had to have been at least 5 years old because I took crocheting with me. And I was sitting there coloring, and the lady said to me, I don't remember her name, I was 5, y'all. She says, I got some greens over here cooking. You want to taste them for me to make sure they're okay? And I'm like, yes, please. So I tasted the greens. They were really, really good. And mind you, this is in North Carolina. Okay? They were having, if I'm not mistaken, baked chicken, collard greens, mashed potatoes, and rolls. And most of the ladies were having sweet tea. And I wasn't really a tea drinker. I wanted milk. So I had my milk. When she got everything together, she made me a plate. Of course, I had the chicken leg. And I kind of sniffed the air, and I could smell the vinegar and what smells repulsive to a lot of people, but I actually love it, which is chitlins, y'all. If you look at the name on the package, it says chitterlings. But us from Carolina, We call them chitlins. And I said, is that chitlins I smell? And the lady came over and said to me, your mom says that it's one of your favorites. So we cooked you some chitlins. But you got to make sure you eat your greens first. I said, I was greedy. I said, oh, I'm going to eat the greens and the mashed potatoes and the baked chicken and the roll. But I really want to save the roll for the chitlins. And she said, well, your mom said that you like chitlins and rice. I'm like, yay. Yay. My grandfather was a Geechee from South Carolina, so every meal that my grandfather ate after noon consisted of rice. And he mixed everything with rice. The meats, the vegetables, it didn't matter. Everything went with rice. So pretty much whenever I have rice, whatever I'm eating with it, all blends in with the rice. Yeah. So I ate my meal. Of course, times were different. This is back in the late 60s. Of course, right outside the kitchen door on the other side was outside. And I got to go outside and play as long as I stayed in the little area where they could see me from the door. And I did. I just pretty much played with my doll babies. And after about an hour, she calls me, she's like, Kathy, come over. She says, I got something else I want you to try for me. I'm like, okay. And she bought me apple pie. I tried apple pie plain, apple pie a la mode, ice cream by itself. We didn't stay overnight at that one. When the meeting was over, we drove back here to Virginia. But that's definitely one time I remember. Another time, I remember being older than 8, but younger than 11. So I was either well into my 8s, somewhere between well into my 8s and before my 11th birthday. We went to the Jefferson Hotel in Richmond. It was another garden club meeting. And that time it was, there were 3 of us traveling. My mother, myself, and my Aunt Willie. And before we left, my mom checked the weather, and she was like, okay, we should be able to go there and come back before the storm hits. We were not planning to spend the night because Richmond was like 90 minutes away from where we live, and Mom just didn't see the practicality in, staying. And it was like really good that we didn't, because as the weather report started pouring in, I don't remember which storm it was, but it had just started to rain just as we left Richmond on that Sunday. And my mom got what she called a day room, which it was for Aunt Willie and myself to stay in while she had her meeting. And I remember I kept running down the hallway to the end of the hallway looking out the main window, because that's where the main road was. And it's like we were in the valley part of that road. You could see the hill going up to the left and the hill going a slight incline to the, major incline to the right, slight incline to the left. But it concerned me because they were talking about flash floods. And somewhere in my younger days, I had been in terrible weather and didn't really remember it. But I remember that type of weather horrified me. And I wanted to go downstairs to the banquet room so badly, and beg my mom, please, let's go. I want to go. I want to go. But they wrapped their meeting up just before it started raining, and just as we pulled off, it started raining. And it was like someone or some people had totes of water, and they just all decided to flip them over at one time. I had never seen rain come down that hard in my life at that point. And when I get scared like that, y'all, I either chatter a lot and laugh a lot, or I go to sleep. And I laid down in the back of that Toyota Corolla Mark IV, and I went to sleep. When we got back to Portsmouth, mind you, it's only 90 minutes. Only 90 minutes. That is an hour and a half. And we turned on the TV and checked the news. We were on the 4th floor at the Jefferson Hotel. It had flooded up to the 3rd floor in those 90 minutes. I was horrified. And it was weird because I don't remember the bad experience when I was younger in Carolina. Whenever we would have floods, we sat, I think I told you, like in a little valley. So it always flooded in our corner. And I'd go out there in my bathing suit or my shorts and my t-shirt and play in that water like I was in the pool. I did. Cars weren't coming down there. I felt like I was safe. Nowadays, no way. No way. And if I had known then what I know now, oh no. But, you know, a fearless kid, I did it. Switching to teenage years. Mom had another garden club meeting in Murfreesboro, North Carolina at Walter's Grill. I remember that because even though I didn't know the name of the hat then, and I never said this to you all, but every time I make a bucket hat, it reminds me of this. I had a denim bucket hat. It was my fishing hat. And the plans were my mom was going to have her meeting, then we were going to have dinner, and then we were going fishing. And when we left the restaurant, apparently I left my bucket hat in the restaurant. And I realized it as we got about 30 to 45 minutes away. My mom turned around and went back. Now, mind you, from where we lived in Portsmouth, it took a tad over an hour to get to Murfreesboro. It was nowhere from us. And when we turned around to go back to get it, they were like, no, you didn't leave anything when you left. Lady, I know I left it. Because me and my mama had a discussion about that cap. I didn't want to take it off. My mama told me to take it off. And I asked her, I said, well, if men are supposed to take off their hats when they're inside, why do I, a young lady, have to take my hat off? You know, I remember that discussion. So I know. I took my hat off in there, and I know somebody got my bucket hat. Oh, y'all, it was so cute. I had really bedazzled that hat. I had my nickname in that hat, which at that point was Cotton Candy. And I had all kinds of glittery stuff on it. I had fishing hooks in it. I had fly lures in it. Oh, I had everything in that hat. It was absolutely me, you know. And I had little ties where I just did chain stitches and made little chain bows and had them around the top rim of it. Oh, y'all, it was gorgeous. It was absolutely bedazzly gorgeous. And they said I didn't leave it there. We ate at the bar. We went from the bar out the door to the car and then home. And we didn't have the windows down, so it's not like it blew out of the window. But at any rate, that was another garden club adventure I remember. Then there was there was the trip to West Virginia when my baby girl was very, very, very young. And my mom had 2 of her garden club members with her, and me and my daughter. And there was one lady out of Suffolk, Miss B. The other lady who lived in Portsmouth with us, she was another Miss B. I can say her name, Miss Baker. Miss Baker was cool. She was so cool. But y'all excuse me one more moment. Okay, back to Miss Baker and Miss B. So we drove to West Virginia, the mountain part of West Virginia. I don't remember the name of the hotel where we stayed, but y'all, I will forever tell you many, many, many times that I am a Carolina girl. I'm country. And they were doing a lot of construction along this strip of road. The hotel was fairly new, but behind the hotel was clay dirt, y'all. Oh, clay dirt is like candy. Yeah, I'm that kid. I used to eat starch, clay dirt. It was like a clay dirt haven behind that hotel. I mean, it's like the whole side of this mountain was nothing but clay dirt. I felt like the opening song to Green Mile. Heaven, I'm in heaven. Yeah, I did. Oh. I think I remember that was one of the reasons I remembered that trip so much. Another reason was Miss B out of Suffolk wanted to stop every 5 minutes to use the bathroom. And if she wasn't stopping to use the bathroom every 5 minutes, then it was every restaurant that we passed. She wanted to stop. She wanted to stop at Dairy Queen. She wanted to stop at 7-Eleven. She wanted to stop at Hardee's. She wanted to stop at whatever gas station was coming up next. She wanted to stop. And we were ready to come home. we wanted to come home. All that stopping wasn't resonating with me and my daughter. We couldn't wait to get her home and drop her off. And then there was the meeting with Miss S.K. that took place in the Holiday Inn in downtown Portsmouth on the waterfront. And Miss S.K. was not president. As a matter of fact, she headed the Junior Flower Club, in which my kids were involved. And everything my mama did, everything my mama said. I mean, they're in the middle of a banquet, where you have other garden clubs that are here with us, and they're recognizing people, and every time mama opened her mouth, I'm just going to call her by her first name. Susie would stand up and say something. And my kids and I are looking at her and glaring at her hard, like, sit down. Sit down. I mean, she was like a jack in the box, just popping up. Well, you know, Turner. And finally, my mother was getting ready to resign her post as president. And just as she stood up to say it, the lady that we were sitting with, who we called Aunt Maud was a sweetheart. Aunt Maud said, hold up, Baba. She never would say Barbara. Hold up, Baba, before you say anything. Susie, you need to shut up. She said, you had your turn at president. You're not anymore. I think my mother continued for one more year before she gave up. But y'all, my mom belonged to so much. She was in the Garden Club, the Ebonairs of Distinction, which is an organization that she and some of her co-workers started. She taught at John F. Kennedy High School in Suffolk, and they got together and started it. She belonged to the National Association of University Women. Several church, oh my God, the church, I can't even begin to list her church titles. I know she ended up being the mother of our church, was the role she ran away from. She ran away from for the longest time, and I have to laugh, because if I don't, I'm going to cry. My mama, as much as they kept asking my mother to please be a mother of the church, please join the motherboard. We want you to. My mama told them, I don't want to be a mother, because every mother of this church dies. Like I said, I have to laugh, because if I don't, I'm going to cry. I understand when it's our time to go, it's our time to go. I get it. I get it. I get it. But that was my mother. My mother was very blunt. She held no punches. She would tell you how she felt. Like, so, Turner, tell me how you really feel. Yes, that was my mother. 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, I did it. Yeah. Yeah, I did it. That's 10 rows. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm done. Wow. Y'all getting ready to watch me do something that none of us really likes to do. I kept it close so that I could. I am sewing in my ear. You better be proud of me. Come on. Work with me. But yeah, I had fun traveling with my mom, helping her to set things up. Sometimes they would have contests where I call them fashion shows for the plants. You know, they had to, who made the best arrangements. And what they would do was, this was when they would have their big garden club meetings, and they would get one representative from each chapter, you know, to be a judge. My mother was also a member of the Order of Eastern Star, as my grandfather was a Mason. And everybody keeps trying to tell me my rights to be no. No, 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 no. So, you know, they keep saying these organizations will help you out if you, you know, need it, or anytime you're in need, they'll be there. And where? When my mama needed them, they weren't there. You know, and I don't remember my grandfather being assisted by them either. So my thing is, like my mother used to tell me several of the little things that I was told coming up, but my mom used to always say, don't talk about it, be about it. And my grandmother also told me that y'all know the saying. If you older than 25, you know the saying. Don't let your mouth write a check that Joe can't cash. Okay? In other words, don't make promises that you can't keep. Don't make offers that you don't intend to adhere to. And I lived on those principles, y'all. And I mean, that's just how I am. That's why I tell y'all, when I make y'all a promise, you best believe I'm going to break my neck to make sure it happens. Good deal. Look at that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 22, 24, 26, 28. Almost there, y'all. 6 days. Oh, okay. There we go. Okay, so make sure nothing was pulling. I showed you all the stickers that I got from Lisa. What I want to do is create a space around me that is more than decorative. I want it to be purposeful, which is why I keep trying to figure out how to set everything up, because I want everything to have a purpose. I want where everything sits, it has to be a reason for it sitting there. Like, to move this nightstand right now seems like, I really don't. But if I do that, then what an option that I have is to move the dresser back down this way and put my chair back over there, and then I'll be close to my yarn again. But the reason I got away from that yarn over there was so it would force me to get up and walk over to it. But I have created a yarn space right here beside me, so if I'm going to keep the yarn beside me, then I may as well put it back over there. That makes sense, right? And it will free up that walking in my room space, because right now we have to squeeze through to get over here. So I think that might be what I do. That is a mission. So we're going to work on that this week. We are. Guys, I have taken up a lot of your time. I thank you for sitting with me and listening to me. I would like to encourage you, please share my videos. Watch as much of it as you can tolerate. Hit that like button, and if by chance there is a notification button for me, and I think there is, if I'm not mistaken, please hit that notification button so that you know when I'm here. And like I said, share my videos and subscribe. I need subscribers, please. So you can see my yarny space grow. I have to get me a sticker board because I have stuck a few things on the walls here, and some of them I'm ready to change out, and they don't come off that easily. Excuse me, I've tried the hair dryer, the wetting it with hot water, just kind of resting it up there, and it's just not coming off that well. And being that I live in an apartment, when you do decide to leave, before you get your security deposit back, they go through and check everything, and they have a price beside everything. That's how I know to replace the door here in the apartment is $90. Yes. Blinds at the windows, $35. Yeah. Come on. That's one thing I can tell you about this yarn that I got with the last haul. The Spin Cozy, I believe it is. It tends to split in some areas, so I have to constantly watch that. It's still super soft. It is very, very, very soft. Let's see if I can show you the end of it though. This is a little more put together than the beginning of it. But you can see where it's already starting to like come apart. And I will do that throughout. I found that with this last night as well. Let's see. So that would be my only gripe with that, but I'm just seeing this is what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Yeah. And of course, you know the sugar and cream looks like that. That sugar and cream. I went through so much coconut oil, but I'm gonna have to go through so much more because I got to do 10 washcloths this week. So I'll be going through more. Yep. But like I said, I'm not going to take up too much of your time. Please don't forget the donation drive for the G.R.O.W Foundation, which is based in Chesapeake, Virginia, headed by Nisha Hines. That's Himes. You can go to growfoundation.org and check them out. Anything you want to know about them is pretty much right there. Don't forget to check on your subscriptions. Make sure you still subscribe to the people that you subscribed to. And also don't forget the giveaway. My 100th giveaway. It's going on until the 31st. 31st at 6 o'clock is when I'm planning on jumping up here and doing my little drawing. And we will determine who gets the box. Those are the things. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, 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 subscribe. Oh, can you tell I love to sing? So I'm going to get back to my movies. It's another Harry Potter day. And that's what I'm going to be doing until I pass completely out. Probably get me another bottle of water. I have less than a third of a bottle left. And I'm going to make this do what it do. Don't forget, when you walk past that mirror and you see that reflection, you make sure you stop. Remind you of how beautiful you are. And then tell yourself, I love you. And also know, with every fiber of my being, that I, Kitty Lane, love you too. Peace out, everybody. See you soon.